Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Can you even believe this? But we are on episode 10 of this mini series that I am doing on the podcast, all about flipping houses. If this is the first episode you are catching, well, number one, we have years of content here on the podcast, but this is episode 10 of a little mini series I'm doing on the podcast. So there are 9 other episodes before this. I get a lot of questions about our flipping house journey, about flipping houses, about specific things, about more general things. And so I've had some different people reach out to me about doing memberships or a subscription or like a coaching thing. And I just thought what I would do was compile the most asked questions and put it together in just kind of a mini little series on the podcast and start here. I am hoping that as you are listening to this episode or this series, that you will reach out to me with follow-up questions, follow-up topics, and then I can just kind of gauge where people are. So I just thought this is a great place for me to put this information because you can always come back to it and listen to it. And then I can kind of go from there. So you can always reach out to me. You can DM me on Instagram at My Creative Days. Always email me, lindsay@mycreativedays.com. And I never share your name or anything. It just helps me when you reach out to me and tell me, a follow-up question or maybe you didn't understand something or I didn't explain it well or you just want me to dive in deeper. And that goes for any of the podcast episodes, not even just in this series. Your feedback to me, whether it's on the website, social media, YouTube channel, whatever it is, it just helps me so much. So please keep doing that. Please keep reaching out to me. I need to know what you're looking for, what you need help with, what questions you have. If I can help you, I want to do that. That's my goal. We have talked, so like I said, this is the final episode. We have talked through everything. So in the past 9 episodes, we've talked about planning, budgeting, design, managing, handling the unexpected, and now we're in the home stretch, right? This is a point where some beginners unintentionally kill their profit. And what I mean by that is they're tired, they're ready to be done, and they rush, right? They're just like, okay, I do not want to step foot in this house one more time. And so do not rush this part. This part it's so important. It's so important. And I'm going to dive into some of the things that matter most and some of the things that you should be doing. So number 1 is cleaning. You need to have this if you're flipping to sell or flipping to rent, right? Hopefully, if you are like Matt and I, if you are renting these places out, you want to get the best renters, right? So all of these steps are super important. And obviously, if you're going to sell, these are super important. But I am not one of those people that, I'm just like, leave the house the way it is and we'll get some people living in here and renting it out. That's just problems. And so we really go above and beyond. We want to make the house look amazing and we want the best people taking care of our properties. That's what it is. They get to live there. They're going to take care of it. And you want to get the best people in there while you have it, while you're renting it out. And so these things are super important. So cleaning is such a big part of it. So you want your flip to look and smell like a new build or just new and fresh when people walk in, right? So you want to clean all the vents. Buyers and renters will look at this stuff. You want to wipe down door frames, light switches, trim. Even if it's new, a lot of dust collects on those things, right? So just wipe them down. Vacuum inside cabinets and drawers. We had, in the last house we just did, we got a brand new kitchen. And you would be amazed. I made sure that once everything got done, I went through every drawer and just by the installation, so like drilling through the wood or whatever, those sawdust and that kind of stuff is in there. So make sure that you vacuum the inside, the cabinets and the drawers. And can I just say this? if you are renting this out, and so the renters come in and they're like, oh my gosh, there's a bunch of crap and stuff in the drawers. Like, they don't even care about this. So they're not going to care if I do this. Or if I leave the house like this when we're done with it, they're not going to care because this is how they presented it to us. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is the picture you are painting for them. You want that house to be, this is for renting, to be spotless and to be, this is the condition you're getting the house in. This is exactly how I want it when you move out. Even these small little things are so important. Clean the tracks of windows and sliding doors. Run a towel over the walls to catch dust after sanding or just dust after cleaning or whatever. Polish your faucets in stainless steel. So there's no spots on it. They really sparkle. Make sure you remove stickers from all your new fixtures, appliances, mirrors. If you got new windows, make sure you remove all those stickers. Mop yourself out of the house, literally. Like, start at the top or at the back and work your way all the way to the front so that you're literally walking out the door, locking it with your mop in hand. Change furnace filters so air blows clean, and then replace, light bulbs so the entire home matches in color, temperature, and just make sure that all the light bulbs are obviously working and all of that. One thing you can do, and I think we will do this. There are different people and different companies, I'm sure you have one in your area, that clean like post-construction, rentals, those kinds of things. It's not a regular home cleaner. It's not the same. And I think I've really thought about it, not even depending on the two rentals that we have that we're really excited about who's there and we think they're going to leave it amazing. I might even have these cleaning companies come in and just do a really good cleaning before, depending on if we're selling it or going to rent it again, just to get it super clean, and so I don't have to do it. But there are those post-construction rental kind of cleaners that are different from just, your regular home cleaner. So look into that. If you have a big, huge, construction job in your flip and you've just, you're doing a lot, you are breaking down walls, you are doing all that, just look into it. Have them come through and give you a quote. It's so good. Like I always say, it's so good. Even if you decide not to do it, there were some things in this last house that I knew we weren't going to do, but I just wanted to get a rough estimate at the cost so that I would know moving forward when we do decide to do it, this is roughly about what it should cost. So definitely just call them and have them come out and see what it would look like for you. Staging. Staging isn't just for selling. A staged rental can lease faster because people can visualize scale and lifestyle. We have 3 rentals right now. So with our 2, we kind of knew the people. So we didn't have to advertise for the rentals. So I didn't do any staging. But I just thought this would be important because this may be what you may have to do to get the best renters in. If you are like just advertising and just throwing it out there for anybody. So you could stage, these are the areas that maybe you could just kind of spruce up or just kind of throw something together to kind of show them. The living room, just enough stuff to show a layout. This is where the TV would go. This is where a chair and maybe your sofa would go. Like, you aren't hanging things on the wall. You don't have to bring a rug in, or like, you know what I mean? Just kind of to show them the size. Okay, I need a 3-seater sofa. I would need, 1 chair and an entertainment center. You know what I mean? So just to kind of give them an idea of layout and size. Kitchen counters. Here's the thing too. For me, and everybody's going to be different, I don't like a lot of clutter on the kitchen counters. That's the way I live. I don't want you bringing in 16 small appliances and putting them all on the counter. And hopefully you have a small kitchen, so they can't do that anyway. But you could put a couple of things out on the kitchen counter just to kind of stage it a little bit. The bathroom, I will put, towels, maybe a hand soap there for them. You could do that. That's done. That's it. Like, you don't need much at all. And maybe the primary bedroom, you show, okay, this is going to fit a queen bed only and 1 nightstand. Like, that's all you would have to put in there. You do not need to stage a kid's room. or dining table, setting them up like it's a wedding. Personal items, obviously, no. Fake food, never, 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 never. If you're on a budget, Facebook Marketplace, talk to your friends and family if they're getting rid of anything, those kinds of things. You can make staging cost you literally nothing. One other thing that I will tell you that I have done in these last 2 rentals is I always put a welcome home little basket together. And to be honest, I want them to know. So I put things like, Dawn spray, the spray dish soap, an all-purpose cleaner, my favorite geometry towels, a couple of snacks. But, I want you cleaning this house. I put like a scrub daddy in there, things like that where it's like, here, I'm giving you some of the things, maybe it's dishwasher tabs, those kinds of things, just depending on what you're doing. But kind of, hey, welcome. And then I put a little note like welcome home, especially for the 2 couples that we have in our rentals now. It's like, I think it's, for one, it's the first time of them like coming together and living together. And then the other one, it's the second place that they've lived together. But it's kind of like here a new place, the first time for both of them in like a house of their own, if that makes sense. And it's like, you're going to make new memories here, like, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do that. It's just kind of again, another little something to kind of set the stage. We're so excited that you're here. We're so excited that you're going to be taking care of this house, blah, blah, blah. Here's a little welcome basket. So photography. So this is, again, I wanted to make, you are having to advertise this to sell or to rent. Can I just tell you, I think I've said this before, but Matt and I are always looking for maybe our next house, but we've been here for over 20 years and we want to be super smart about it because we're really picky, which obviously so we're not in a rush. I guess I should say. So over the past few years, we have been diligently, and our daughter, Gabrielle, she looks all the time too. So she's always sending us houses. We've looked at houses over and over and over again. Can I tell you the amount of times that I have said, can I please just talk to these realtors? Can I please help them come in and not stage, but fix this up and then tell them what photos to take? The amount of realtors that are doing it not great, like that alone makes you not even want to drive by the place to see if it's even an option. Photography is so important. It's so important. Good photos are going to get you more traffic, period. Even traffic, like you want people driving past your house just to even see like, okay, yeah, I really like the area or, the house, the outside, whatever. Your photos have to be amazing. Shoot on a bright day. If you're, shooting on a Tuesday and it's raining and storming, reschedule, period. Because you turn on lights and lamps and things and you're just not going to get the best photos. Shoot on a bright day, period. Remove all floor mats, those just the clutter. Oh my gosh. Just those things that you think aren't clutter in your home, they clutter the photos, right? You get a corner, let's just say a corner of the living room to highlight, and you've got floor mats and rugs and 15 photos and little knickknacks. And it's like, you don't want to highlight the stuff. You're trying to highlight the home. So remove the clutter. Close all the toilet lids. Can we please close the toilet lids? That may just be my own ick, but just close all the toilet lids before you take photos. Hide cords, trash cans, plungers, cleaning supplies, anything like that. Not only does it like not look good, but you're also showing like, oh my gosh, they have to have a trash can out. Their plunger, there's no place for that. And those cleaning supplies, the broom, the vacuum, whatever it is, there's no place to put that. They have to have it right there in the kitchen. I don't even want this house. Do you know what I'm saying? Even if that's not the case, like you have a place for the broom and you have a place to put the plungers or whatever, but they're just out. Like those are the types of things that are going through renters or buyers' minds. Oh my gosh, there's not even storage for those things. I don't even want it. So you've got to think when you're taking photos, you've got to think from the buyer's or the renter's mind. You have to. Take photos before, with nothing in the driveway on the outside. You want to make sure it's clear and all of that on the outside as well. So you don't want, to take photos with Amazon parked in your driveway or in front of your house, dropping off a delivery. Don't do that. Shoot smaller rooms like bathrooms from corners to get the widest angle. I'm taking a quick break from the episode to share some exciting news with you. If you have ever wanted to flip furniture for extra cash, a creative outlet, or to build a business but didn't know where to start, there's never been a better time. My Furniture Flipping Academy is now just $79, which is over $200 off the original price. Inside, you'll learn how to find amazing pieces on a budget or for free, how to transform them step by step, sanding, painting, staging, all the things, how to price and sell for real profit, and even know how to work with brands to grow your flipping business in more ways than you know. And that's just the start. There is so much more waiting for you inside the Academy. We have so much packed inside the Academy. It's completely self-paced. Once you buy it, it's yours for life. There are no deadlines. There's no pressure. We do have a sneak peek inside the link in the show notes. It will give you a glimpse inside the Academy. And here's the truth. Nothing changes unless you do. You can keep waiting for the right time, or you can take this step now. At $79, the price isn't holding you back anymore. So stop hesitating. Stop making excuses. Click the link and get started today. Open all the blinds. You want the natural light to come in. So all the blinds, all the curtains, all of that. Edit lightly. Do not fake things. If you have been looking at houses, you know now that a lot of realtors and stuff, they're using AI if they've got a vacant house to kind of stage it without having to really stage it, right? And sometimes I've even been duped on, some of them are really good. Some of them are like, oh my gosh, the chair is floating in the middle of the room. Like you can totally tell, but some of them are really good. So just make sure that you're editing. You don't want to fake anything, right? Like you want to make sure that they're not totally duped when they walk in and, because your editing was so unrealistic. If there's one place to spend money on this kind of part of the process, it's the photography. So if you are not good at it, hire it out. But secondly, you need somebody that understands photography for houses. And I'm telling you, there are so many people right now doing it wrong because instantly, just by the photos, I will not even drive by a house or even look at it like a second time, or like look at it to like read how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, like those kinds of things. Like I don't even care. Like the photos alone, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So should you rent or should you sell? Now this is gonna solely depend on your goals, your finances, and we talked about this, just so you know, way back in, I want to say it was episode 2. It could have been episode 1. You need to figure this out before you flip it. You have to know what the end goal is before you flip it. Now, there may come a time where you're like, I'm flipping this to sell and the house doesn't sell. But then you have somebody that'll rent it for 6 months or something that may happen. But in the beginning, you're like, I'm flipping this to sell. You have to know if you're selling or renting because that is going to direct your budget, your projects, like what you're doing. The entire process will depend on if you're renting or selling. So I can't say for certain, like this is when you should sell and this is when you should rent. But here are some things that you could think about between the two. Sell when the market is hot, obviously. Maybe you need to sell because you need capital for another project. You want a quick return instead of a long-term investment. That's a huge one. And right now, Matt and I, we have done both. We have rented and we have sold, flipped to sell. Right now, the 3 that we have, obviously they were long-term investments and we would like to get a couple more. So that's a big one right there. Do you need the quick return or do you want to do a long-term investment? Rent, if cash flow is strong in that neighborhood, your financing terms favor holding it. So depending on how you finance the property, maybe it's like, it's best if I hold this for 3 years, 5 years, whatever. You're building long-term wealth or stable monthly income. That's when you're going to want to rent. The market is slow and unpredictable as far as selling. Then you want to rent. The flip is low maintenance. For the neighborhood, again, we talked about this in previous episodes of this series. You flipped it for that neighborhood. So we didn't over flip it. We didn't over renovate. We didn't over whatever. The property was worth this in the end. And so we stayed well underneath that because we were being smart, right? So the flip is low maintenance. So, it's not super high end finishes. It's not, super fancy or anything. So you could rent it out and feel comfortable doing that. A tip that a lot of beginners don't ever consider is get an appraisal before you decide. Sometimes, so if you're still going back and forth, sometimes the appraisal will make the decision for you. But again, I want to reiterate, you should know this before we start renovating it. You should know this before you even put in an offer. Okay? So again, we go all the way back to the second episode that I did here. And you know what you can do if you could have an appraiser come in, you're going to have to pay for it. And you can kind of talk to them about, okay, we're going to do A, B, C, D, and E. What is it worth? Can you just give me a rough estimate what it's worth? And that may help you decide as well. Maybe have an appraiser come through as you're going through it for a second time or something. That can help you make the decision. So next, you're going to break down the final numbers. So you want to run your numbers before you list it or post it for rent. So your final numbers will include your purchase price, your holding cost. Remember holding costs. That's taxes, interest if you have it, insurance, utilities, those kinds of things. Your materials and supplies, contractor labor, appliances, landscaping, permits, trash hauling. So did you get a dumpster? Those kinds of things. Cleaning and staging, photography, closing costs if selling, commissions if selling and you're using a realtor, vacancy estimates if you're renting. You should know exactly, basically, your total investment, your profit if you sell, monthly profit if you rent. Now, monthly profit is, so let's say you are renting a place for, I'm just throwing out easy numbers, $500 a month. Well, you, because you still own the property, you are still paying insurance and you are still paying taxes. So let's say comes out to, I'm just, again, throwing it out. Both of those together are $100 a month. So that $500 rent, your monthly profit then is $400. Does that make sense? So you need to know that because you will still have those costs as the owner that you will still pay. Now, your renter will pay all the utilities. So it's taxes and insurance that you will still have, as a bill. Your ROI, which is your return on investment, and then cash on cash return. If the numbers don't make sense, stop. This is why the final stretch matters, right? This is where you confirm the deal is still a deal. So here are a couple more things to just think about. When you're selling, buyers will nitpick the smallest things. So fix them up front. Let's say you have blinds and they're wonky or something, and you just need to get new blinds, right? Like, so a buyer will be like, yeah, I want to buy the house, but I want that fixed. Or, if it's something a little bit more substantial, okay, I'm going to offer you $300 or $3,000 or $10,000 less because of that. You know what I mean? So even the small things, you need to fix them up front before you even show the house. A $50 paint touch-up saves you $5,000 in negotiations. You will always get a ridiculous request. Always. So you need to either budget mentally for it or mentally prepare for it, and stick to your guns. If you're like, there is no way, no, it's just a no. And sometimes the listing day is better. So some people say Thursdays get the most weekend traffic. And again, that could be different in your area. I'm just trying to give you kind of a broad idea. Okay. When renting, again, I am coming from, I want the best. We just don't want people in our rentals that are not going to take care of it. Quality tenants are attracted to quality properties, right? And it's not that you have to have, stone countertops, marble backsplash, and those kinds of things. They just want a house that looks great, has been taken care of, and it's clean, right? Your quality renters want that. The tenants really want that. don't list too cheap. Don't list your rental. You want to be where it's at. Obviously, you don't want to go above or anything, but if you go way too low, it screams problems. You need to have a crystal clear application process, no exceptions. And there is, I want to say it's called Turbo Tenant, and we may have to use that. Like I said, we pretty much know the people that are in our rentals right now, so we didn't use that, but they kind of do everything for you. We've kind of looked into it, but something like that. There are a lot of different ones out there. That's just the one that comes off the top of my head. And again, we have not used it, so I cannot fully, dive into that, but there's also, if you know somebody that's got rentals, this is what we've done in the past. Ask them for their application, ask them for their lease, ask them for I guess I should say for us, it's been no problem. They have sent them over right away. They're like, yes, here you go. And so then you can kind of just get an idea of what's asked, what to do, those kinds of things. Here's one that you can think of: pet-friendly rentals, fill faster and earn more. So you get to decide, do you want pets to be an option or not? And then if so, you are going to charge more monthly. You are going to have an extra deposit, a pet deposit, and all those things. But that's something that you'll definitely have to think about, because that is something that is going to come up. The first person who applies is rarely the best candidate. What I want to say to this is, if you can spread the word to people that you know and trust, so that's your family, your friends, and let them know, hey, in October, we're going to have this 3-bed, 2-bath house ready, kind of give them the lay of the land, what the rent's going to look like. If you know anybody, and to be completely honest, that is how we have found our last 2 renters, and could not be more happy. So I would highly recommend, and don't wait till it's done. Do not wait till it's done. Like if you get the house, 3 months before or 4 months before, you start talking to people then. You're going to rent it. You start talking to people then. Hey, we're going to put in all new windows. The hardwood floors are getting done. All new paint. Hype it up. This is what we're doing. So if you know any good candidates, please, send them our way. And that's exactly how it happened with ours. That is it for this episode. The final stretch. This is what turns months of work into real profit. It's not just the finishing touches, right? It's the moment where you protect all the time, money, and energy you've invested, right? Clean it well, stage it if you have to, get professional photos, run your numbers honestly. You will stand out from 90% of flippers or landlords around you. So this is the part that separates the rookies from the seasoned flippers, which is, I think it's really true. So that's it. That's episode 10 of this little series. Like I said, if you found any of these helpful or any of the podcasts, please share. Please share the podcast, number 1. It just helps us so much. It helps the podcast get out there. And number 2, if you liked this information or you have more follow-up questions or something you want me to dive deeper into, please reach out to me. I don't know unless I hear from you. So please reach out to me. I love hearing from you. Like I said, it helps me. It helps me to help you. So that's what I'm here to do. I am also telling everybody on the podcast that if you enjoy the podcast, please make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. I will leave the link in the show notes. We might be doing some changing on where we host the podcast, but it will never leave YouTube. We post the podcast on YouTube every Monday, so you can listen to it there, wherever you listen to your podcast. It will be on YouTube forever. So you need to be subscribed to the YouTube channel, because we may be making some changes and it's not just about the podcast, just about where I am hosting some of my other, like the Furniture Flipping Academy and those kinds of things. I'm just thinking that I have to pivot with some of those things, and that will affect where the podcast is hosted. But like I said, it will never change from YouTube, so will continue to get it there. Besides the podcast, I am uploading new videos every week on the YouTube. So DIY projects, the flip houses, the progress of the flip houses, my thrifting adventures and my hauls, and just different seasonal things that I'm doing. All of that is all on the YouTube channel as well. So you're getting the podcast and so much more. So just make sure that you check the show notes for the link. It's super simple. It's youtube.com/@mycreativedays, the @ symbol, My Creative Days. You will find me on all the platforms at My Creative Days. But make sure you're subscribed because I don't want you to miss out on any of the podcasts if and when we do make that change on where it is hosted. So until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.